Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons still waiting on contract extensions. Also, big changes on the defense as Mike Zimmer takes over after Dan Quinn got the Commanders' head coaching job. Here's Parsons on his new DC.
Honestly, man, me and Zim probably said a total of 20 words to each other. Yeah, he's a very quiet person, and all I keep hearing from the coach is like, Zim likes it this way. I was like, well, I like it this way, so I can't wait to have my true sit down with him. I think it'll be pretty cool because obviously old school mindset, old school mentality. But I think he has a lot of great players, but he ain't never have a Micah before.
I don't know, Marcus. This one had me raising my eyebrows. What do you think of what Micah said?
I mean, just don't say it. Bro, listen, you can say what you want to say, but yeah, I know people get all in their feelings about that. But to me, this is stuff that kind of defines Dallas, right? Like, this is a soundbite where you literally can take something away from this and say there's already a rift in the ideology of what they want to do. For Micah to say that with Mike Zimmer coming in, you don't know if either one of them, based on what the other one says, is going to take it personal. And now you already have a rift in the working relationship before you can get started good. And I know Zim has a quote out there saying, it's going to be my way. So I just don't like this from the standpoint of Dallas, especially when you're talking about your star defensive player with a new offensive coordinator coming in. Micah is different, right? A lot of people in Dallas understands that the league, he has a microphone. He likes to talk about everything, not just football. He likes to talk about everything. I'm for that. Go on with that. I just think this is something that could really cause an issue if it's not an understanding between him and Mike Zimmer. And based on what he just said, they don't have that understanding yet because they've only said 20 words to each other. So I hope this is not creating something between the best defensive player and the new defensive coordinator coming in, not seeing eye to eye and having a different view on how things should go in Dallas.
Yeah, Marcus, is a great point. And you understand Dallas, obviously. The reality is, sometimes guys got to know, when there's going to be a soundbite. You should know at this point in your career, if you're Micah Parsons, that this is going to be a soundbite. This is how that should go. Hey, how's it going with your new defensive coordinator? It's great, man. Excited to get going with them. He's great. That's it. Is he great? Who knows? You know what I mean? Do you think he's great? Who knows? But everyone's moving on. It's not a soundbite. And to your point, Marcus, now all of a sudden, doesn't it feel like catching feelings in this? Is that how this is going? Is there now a misunderstanding? And you don't need it. My guess is that, listen, Mike Zimmer have a funny comment, everything's cool, smooth it out. He's been around, he knows how it works. He's had high maintenance players before and gotten along great with them. Now, I will say this. Typically what can happen is guys are in the offseason, players trying to get in and out of the facility, coaches trying to get a little bit of downtime as well. Coaches and players really develop bonds when the guy is playing well when it matters. When the defense coordinator knows during the season against a division opponent if he can really trust you. And if that player feels yep, in a critical moment, he's putting something on me. That's when the bonds and the mutual respect really come in. Yeah. Not necessarily in June, but don't create an issue in June if you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so I wanted to really talk about this because I made a previous video with regards to this. I think it was I forget where it was in terms of what where it was being reported, if it was on NFL Live or somewhere else. And I talked about it and saying that this is bad, this is absurd. I said Dallas is in trouble. I was like, they just keep doing this. Micah keeps doing this, and this is problematic. And a lot of people gave pushback, to my surprise. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Because they were like, Micah didn't do anything wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. Stop trying to make an issue out of nothing. And now, of course, we have two players, Spears and Hasselbeck, and they're just like, no, this is not good. This is not good. Why are you doing this? Why are you saying this? Why are you stirring up controversy? Why are you having these issues with the coach? It's just bad business, bad leadership, no matter how you want to look at it. But I wanted to make this video as more of a question to Dallas Cowboys fans, because all fan bases defend their players pretty hard, right? Like they just do. No matter what happens, they fight tooth and nail for their team. And I get it. I do. I really, really do, right? We're all fans of various teams and we support them. But there just doesn't seem to be much accountability from a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans. It seems to be kind of split in a way. They either defend like it's like it's their dad and mom or their child or their girl, or they're like, get rid of him, I never want to see him again. Like it's very binary in that regard. It's just one or the other. But I just hear and see so many people defend stuff like this and say it's not that big of a deal. One guy said, Micah Parsons doesn't need to bow down to anyone. And it's like, no one's saying that Micah needs to bow down to anyone, but you need to respect your coach. You need to, especially when you're the leader, because what happens is when Micah starts putting out that energy, now some of the other players will rally more behind Micah rather than the coach, rather than Mike Zimmer. And that's awful. I've seen it happen again and again and again, right? Like, and Micah starts whispering like, nah, man, what coach is saying is wrong. We don't need to do this. Like, this is so dumb we're doing this. Like, whatever it may be, you just undercut him. And it's just bad business. It's not how you play winning football. It's not how you succeed in any aspect of life. Again, whether you play professional sports or competitive sports, you've probably experienced similar things like this, whether it be when you were a kid and you were in school with a teacher, when you felt like your teacher didn't know anything, or even if you just played like Little League or Pee Wee football, whatever. Anytime you felt like the person in charge didn't know what they were doing, or someone else, someone cooler, someone, who was maybe better at something, undercut the teacher, the coach, the boss, the whatever, like it just completely, things just unravel. And the guys that aren't as good usually closer to gravitate towards the cool guy, and that's who Micah Parsons is, right? He's supposed to be the leader, so it's just bad. It's just, and again, and I think this is such a great quote of like, don't create an issue in June, right? Like what are you doing right now? Like, it's not hard to give unconditional support right now, even if you don't feel it. Say, I'm so excited for Zimmer. Obviously, I miss Quinn. Me and him were real close, but me and Coach haven't talked a lot just yet, but I'm really excited to have our one-on-one meeting. Like, obviously, I'm a little bit more new school and he's a little bit more old school, and I'm really excited to see like how we can kind of connect that and kind of have some overlap. And listen, I'm sure I could learn a lot from Mike, and hopefully maybe I can teach some stuff to him, and we can just learn together a little bit. But I'm really excited. That's not that hard to say. I just made that up off the top of my head. That's not that difficult. But instead, he comes with the energy of like, yeah, all I do is hear is that Mike likes it this way, but hey, I like it this way. And it's just like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? And then he's like, yeah, Coach has had a lot of great players, but no one like me. And it's just like, why are you being combative in this moment? Like, he's being combative in the media. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. No sense. And it's just, listen, when you're a new coach being hired, you have to establish yourself as the man in charge. Like, it's not the easiest feat to do. That's why you see a lot of new coaches kind of go too extreme, too far out. They either try to be buddy-buddy with everyone, or they try to be like a drill sergeant. And it's like, you got to find that balance. But when you're not like this established coach within the organization or promoted within the organization, now you're being hired from the outside like that, like Mike Zimmer is, like, it's a delicate balancing act for the coach, even just a defensive coordinator, to establish, like, yes, I know I'm a new guy in this building, but like, you all know my resume, I can do stuff, like, let's go, you should listen to me, right? Like it's this interesting thing of like trying to earn it, trying to also demand it, trying to also command it. Like, it's not the easiest thing to do. And you want your leaders, like, when Dallas is going to pay Micah all this money, part of it is not doing this. It's representing Dallas. It's representing the organization in a positive light. It's making things easier. It's not just for production on the football field. It's these little things. I'm going to pay you hundreds of millions of dollars, and when you get asked a question about coach, you say positive things. You say, I'm really excited to learn and grow from Mike because I can always learn from a new coach. Each coach always has a unique perspective, and I'm really excited. I know I can always grow and become better, and I'm excited. I can't wait. That's part of why you get paid all the money you get paid, when you are the leader of the Dallas Cowboys. But he doesn't do that. And I don't understand why so many fans of the Dallas Cowboys like co-sign that and enable that and don't hold his feet to the fire at all. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. I see some of these other more desperate organizations do that, or these newer organizations, I shouldn't say newer, or just organizations that have had newer or more recent success, and so they just want to, like, you know, keep enjoying that ride. But the Dallas Cowboys have a reputation. They are an iconic franchise. Like, they win championships, Super Bowls. Like, they are not just happy to be there. They're not just happy to have one good player. Like, there's true expectations. So I don't understand why they don't hold their players more accountable. They only want to ever hold Jerry accountable. No one else ever. Never Micah, never Dak. And I don't, even Mike McCarthy. And I don't get it. Because I see New York. New York holds the players accountable. The Giants I'm talking about. The Eagles, without a doubt. They wanted Sirianni gone. They're ready. If Jalen Hurts has another bad season, they're ready to get rid of him. You know, like if someone's talking, A.J. Brown causing a little bit of trouble, the news unleashes on him. The media, the fans will unleash on him. Like, it's just what those fan groups do. And I see it with others, you know, and not just obviously those two teams, but I'm using those two teams as obviously as divisional rivals. And that's who I always thought the Dallas Cowboys would be as well, because I expected the expectations to be so high for the Dallas Cowboys. But I've been learning the opposite, and I don't get it. I see it from other teams. I see it from the Chiefs, from the Bills, from the Texans, from the Packers, the Jets. You know, like, I see it from those teams because, especially on the more recent side, those teams haven't had a tremendous amount of success, even though a lot of the teams that I just named are iconic in their own right. But, like, it just, with the Cowboys, like, I just can't, I'm just surprised. And so I'm curious. That's why my question to you all is, like, why? Like, why do you not hold the players more accountable? Like, why are fans not more frustrated by these types of things? Like, how can you not see that it's these little things that undercut the main goal, the main agenda of, like, winning, of winning beyond just 12 games in the regular season, of actually beating good teams and not just bad teams, actually getting to the NFC Championship game, winning the NFC Championship game, and getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl? Like, these little things, it's, you want to say that it means nothing, but in a lot of ways, it means everything. It's just, we see Mike in the playoffs. He seemingly abandons ship the moment adversity strikes his way. And these are little red flags, sometimes gigantic red flags, that you're going to miss the signs if you don't look. And quite frankly, it's not that hard to see. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Dallas Cowboys and Micah creating an issue all the way back in June, and what Marcus Spears had to say? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.